Working with clients, particularly those seeking to heal from chronic health challenges, comes with profound responsibility as a wellness practitioner. It's not just about providing guidance or expertise, it's about fostering an environment of trust, honesty, safety, and transformation. Yet, I've noticed a worrying trend in our industry, a hesitancy for practitioners to share uncomfortable truths with their clients. This reluctance stems from fear of upsetting them, fear of them rejecting the suggestion, or a fear of hurting the relationship. But here's the truth we, as practitioners, need to hear ourselves. Avoiding hard conversations does more harm than good. Healing from trauma, which is often a significant contributing factor to chronic health conditions, whether someone is aware of them or not, it requires a profound sense of safety. Safety, however, is not synonymous with comfort. Safety is cultivated in spaces where honesty, trust, and compassion thrive. When clients step into our space, they're seeking more than solutions. They're seeking guidance in navigating the unknown. This is why our role in creating a truly safe environment is paramount. People-pleasing, whether avoiding difficult topics or softening the reality of a situation, is rooted in trauma. And operating from that space doesn't serve our clients. Instead, it hinders their growth and healing, which is why it is critically important as a practitioner to be trauma informed, because you're not only going to run into it with clients, but you need to work on your own so that you're not bringing your own trauma into your relationship with your clients. Consider this distinction carefully. Let's look at hurt versus harm. Honest, compassionate conversations may cause short-term hurt, but they often deliver a long-term benefit. Avoiding that discomfort to maintain the status quo may seem kind and comfortable in the moment, but it causes long-term harm by denying clients the opportunity to make the changes that their healing requires. Let me give you an example that I heard of recently. Imagine going to the dentist and you have tremendous tooth pain, and the dentist takes a look at it and says, "I'm just going to numb you up and send you on your way." That might feel good for a couple of hours until that numbing cream wears off and you're back in pain again. What if they actually told you the truth in a very compassionate way and say, "Hey, look, I know you're in pain. I really want to help you. From what I can gather, it looks like you need to have this teeth pulled." Now, nobody is excited to go have their tooth pulled, but is it a requirement to actually get out of long-term pain? You hopefully are shaking your head. Yes, it is. Healing chronic health conditions often demands significant and, yes, uncomfortable changes. Transformation is rarely found in comfort alone. To illustrate this, I recently spoke to a fellow practitioner via Facebook messaging, whose client had suffered from stubborn autoimmune symptoms for over a decade. And she desperately wanted to be the practitioner to help her on her healing journey. Despite numerous interventions, including suggesting that she follow an AIP or autoimmune paleo diet, and recommending supplements to her based on some of the labs that they ran, and of course some other lifestyle interventions, the client antibodies levels of their Hashimoto's refused to budge, did not change not one bit despite the interventions. And she reached out in a practitioner Facebook group, desperate for answers, and didn't know what to do next based on the result that had come about, the changes that she had recommended. And she was feeling utterly confused and I also think there was a lot of fear of talking to the client about why the changes that they implemented didn't yield the full transformation that they were hoping for. Now, unfortunately, in that Facebook comment, a lot of other practitioners were chiming in. And of course, there was recommendations for running more expensive lab tests, putting her on more supplements than she was already on. But I was really confused because nobody else had other thoughts around this. And I privately messaged her and asked her if she would be open to my thoughts, and she said yes. And I actually had suggested, knowing the fact that nutrition, of course, is not the only factor to healing, but it is a very, very important one. And really, if nutrition is right, nothing else will be right. And from what I know from experience and what I know about the gut and autoimmunity, when I suggested if she had considered or knew about exploring a therapeutic carnivore diet with her client might help, because it is something that many, many other people have found as one piece of the puzzle, particularly when it comes to things like autoimmune conditions, and particularly when she has tried something already that didn't yield the results that she was looking for. And it was interesting because her response wasn't so much about the diet itself, but she actually said that as a kid, her mother dieted quite a bit. And she associates restriction with death or restriction with harm. And so it was her own childhood trauma, having a mother who constantly dieted, had led her to equal dietary restriction with suffering. And this fear of re-traumatizing herself clouded her willingness to suggest something that might be tremendously helpful to her client. The unfortunate reality is that her client may have then missed out on a potential life-changing approach, all because the fear of her discomfort of even presenting it and her discomfort of quote-unquote restriction overshadowed her commitment to at least being honest with her client, presenting it to her, and letting her client decide what route they wanted to take. And so I really want to be clear that this is not about shaming practitioners. It's about awareness. It's about recognizing our own biases and fears that can creep in and prevent us from fully showing up for the people that are trusting us to be part of their healing journeys. To deliver life-changing guidance, we must first address how our own trauma and how our own people-pleasing tendencies manifest in our practice. And so here I wanted to share some strategies to help get you started to break this cycle. Own your responsibility as a practitioner. Remember that our duty is to share potential strategies, even if they're unconventional or challenging. The decision to act on those recommendations ultimately lies in our client's hands, but we owe them being honest. Next, recognize your own triggers and the own state of your nervous system. Explore any limiting beliefs or past traumas that may affect your ability to present difficult truths to your own clients. For example, if you also view dietary changes as restrictive, do the inner work to shift that perspective, or even seeking out your own quality therapist or coach to help you process these experiences. Many of our students inside our Holistic HTMA Pro program have not only learned a lot of approaches, techniques, and tools and strategies to use with their own clients, but many of them find their own profound healing so that they can better show up for their own clients. And next, reframe the intention. Approach tough conversations from a place of service and compassion. Telling hard truths isn't about being blunt. It's about being honest in a way that builds the bridge that your clients need to cross towards healing. Once we start tackling our own people-pleasing tendencies, how can we deliver uncomfortable information in a compassionate and effective way? So I wanted to share some actionable steps here to get you started. Number 1, set the stage early. Before clients even begin to work with you, establish expectations around open communication. Ask if you have their permission to be honest, even when it may feel challenging. For example, you might say something like, "Part of my role is to guide you towards the best path for healing," which sometimes means sharing things that may be uncomfortable. Are you open to that kind of honesty in our work together? I have never had anyone tell me no. Number 2, recognize and regulate your own emotions. Your nervous system is the CEO of your business, and it sets the tone for these conversations. Take deep breaths, have a quick grounding practice in place, or even utilize mindfulness exercises, which can help you stay more calm and centered during your sessions with clients and helps them model being at ease. Number 3, you are not the expert, your client is. So present options, not ultimatums. Instead of dictating what a client must do, present strategies as choices that you guys can explore together. For instance, try saying something like, "One option we can consider is blank. It's helped many people in similar situations. Though I understand it may feel like a big commitment, how does that sound to you?" And then you have a conversation about it. You are working with your client in a co-creative fashion. Remember, true healing and transformation happens when you put your clients back in the driver's seat, because we are wired for self-efficacy. There is nothing functional or holistic about just telling clients what they need to do verbatim, giving them exact steps, exact diets, exact anything to follow. They need to be empowered to become their own best self-healers, which is what we are all about inside of our programs at Wellness Code Academy. Number 4, coach towards empowerment. Use transformational coaching methods to guide clients towards self-efficacy. Ask thoughtful questions to help them identify actionable steps that feel right to them, knowing that they're not set in stone and they can move directions at any time. This process creates ownership over their healing and reduces resistance. This is one of the biggest pieces I tend to see missing from most practitioners, is true coaching skills. Because at the end of the day, you really should only be talking around 30% of the time when you're talking to your clients. They should be doing the vast majority of the talking. Whoever is doing the talking is doing the learning. Number 5, stay connected to their whys. Remind clients of their ultimate goals and the reasons that they sought your help in the first place. Anchoring the conversations in their aspirations can make discomfort feel more purposeful and palatable. By showing up as compassionate, honest guides, we don't just help our clients overcome challenges. They become empowered to take ownership of their own healing. It's not always easy, and in fact, it can be downright uncomfortable. But it takes practice. It takes continuous skill to master it. And unfortunately, what I tend to see a lot as well is practitioners who are, you might be out there shaking your head being like, yes, this makes so much sense. This is the way that I want to work with my clients. But then when they step out to do it, they feel that discomfort and then they start hijacking it back to their old approaches. But when we lean into that discomfort, instead of running back to our old ways, we give our clients the opportunity for true transformation. And that's probably the reason why you got into this industry in the first place, isn't it? For practitioners watching this video, I urge you to reflect on your practice and ask yourself, are there conversations that you're avoiding because of fear? Are there strategies that you've hesitated to share with clients? If the answer is yes, consider what's holding you back and doing the internal work that's required to show up fully. And remember that discomfort is often the first step towards growth. Because at the end of the day, our clients deserve more than just comfort. They deserve transformation. They deserve professionals who prioritize long-term healing over short-term ease. And together, we can help them reach it. Now let me leave you with this last question. How do you approach delivering hard-to-hear truths with your own clients? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're interested in joining our community of like-minded practitioners and learning a more dynamic approach to work with clients, then you can start and visit www.wellnesscodeacademy.com to check out all of the resources and opportunities that we have waiting for you on the inside. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.